former Democrats are launching an effort to help Dems win rural votes. Gee, who are these Democrats, you ask? I'll tell you. Former Senators Heidi Heitkamp and Joe Donnelly are launching an initiative to help the Democratic Party reverse its losses in rural America ahead of the 2020 election. Heitkamp and Donnelly, who both lost their re-election bids in red states. Those that can't do, teach. Those that can't win, teach how to win in politics. How can we win? Let's ask these people who lost. Joe Donnelly pretty much ran as Donald Trump. He ran as a Republican. He talked about how he wants to crack down on immigration and border security, all this bullshit. He still lost because there was another Republican for Republican voters to choose from. Why would you just not go with the actual Republican? Why not? If you're a Republican, just go for the person with the R next to their name. Why not? Why would you go for the Democrat who's no different? I mean, it's not rocket science. You want to connect with people in the heartland, give them a populist message. You know the state that has more DSA chapters sprouting up than anywhere else? Texas. Texas. You know, this whole idea that a genuine populist message can't work in the heartland is bullshit. It's just bullshit. Tulsi's connecting there. Bernie's connecting there. Why do you think that is? It's because they actually offer people solutions. They offer solutions to jobs. They offer solutions. They want to give free college tuition. A lot of people in rural America are worried that they're not going to be able to send their kids to school. They're worried about that. They're working 2 and 3 jobs to survive. They went for Obama thinking their lives would get better, and then it didn't. They remember what Clinton did with NAFTA. So they're soured to the Democratic Party, and they're soured to the Republican Party. You know, I did a house show in Richmond, Virginia, and there was this lovely couple from West Virginia that made the 4-hour drive to attend the show. And they were very, very sweet people. And they're like, look, we come from rural America, and that's where we live, and that's our home. And we talk to these people, and they're our neighbors. And, you know, we're not, these backwards bigots. We're not these, we just want to vote for a Bible-thumping Republican. We're not that at all, these folks said to me. They're like, a lot of times, we just think it doesn't matter. Because we've been screwed over by both parties for so many years. That's what they said to me. And I've traveled all around the country myself, too. I used to travel 45 weeks a year. We're not as different as everyone loves to tell us we are. We're really not. We're really not. It's just there's a lot of people in the heartland who got screwed over by the Clinton era of the Democratic Party. Obama didn't do anything for them. Bush didn't do anything for them either. And then Hillary Clinton calls them deplorables. So some of them took a chance on Trump, who gave this fake bullshit populist message. It was a lie. But some people took a chance on the lie because they were desperate. A lot of people stayed home. Do you blame them? And these candidates who couldn't win, and I'm not as familiar with Heitkamp off the top of my head, but I know Donnelly pretty much ran as a Republican. Now they're giving advice on how to win in rural America. Towns in rural America are trying to build their own broadband because they're realizing that that's a good investment for their city. They want a jobs program. They don't want to have to work 2 and 3 jobs to survive. They want living wages. They'd be open to something like a Green New Deal because you know why Hillary lost Midwestern states that Democrats have won for years and years? She lost because they wanted employment solutions. She offered them nothing. Trump offered them lies. He went into Pennsylvania, my home state. He went into Pennsylvania offering these bogus promises He's going to reopen the steel mills. These insane promises. But people were so desperate, they took a chance on it because you know what Hillary offered them? Nothing. She didn't say, you know what, we're going to invest in green energy, and I'm going to have you a clean green job that's going to be a good, sustainable job. It's not going to be some pipeline temporary job that's going to wreck your community. It's going to be a sustainable green job. She didn't do that. So they took a chance on Trump. And Pennsylvania, where I'm from, went red for the first time in a presidential since 1988. And yet there's Heitkamp and Joe Donnelly that are just going to tell people, hey, run like a Republican. Run like a Republican. You know how there's people across the country who feel like if I vote, it doesn't really matter? Because either party's just going to screw me. Run like your opponent to really drive that message home for them. To really prove them right completely. If you watch Joe Donnelly's commercial, you'd be like, what the fuck? How is this guy different from any Republican? He wasn't. Do you see how backwards that logic is? Hey, the people who feel like they don't really have an option on the ballot, let's run like our opponents so they really, really feel like they don't have an option on the ballot. On what planet does that make any sense at all? And if you want to make the argument that running like a centrist, a center-right, actually, I mean, calling Joe Donnelly a centrist is ridiculous. He's a right-winger. If you want to point to the district in Pennsylvania that Connor Lamb won and say that's the exception, Connor Lamb's district included parts of Allegheny County, which includes the city of Pittsburgh, which is adjacent to the city of Pittsburgh. If it wasn't for those sections of Allegheny County, again, city of Pittsburgh, he would have lost drastically. He would have gotten crushed. He had just enough in Allegheny County, the city-affiliated county, that he was able to beat his opponent. And his opponent was just a Trump lackey. But if you look at all those rural areas, he didn't get any support there at all. It was all from Allegheny County. And typically, that support from Allegheny County is not enough. And the Republican usually wins. In this, for instance, Trump fatigue was a factor, and it pushed him over the edge. Unless every single district in the country has the same anatomy as what I just described, a little bit of city help combined with rural areas as well, that formula is not going to work. And guess what? Not every district has that anatomy. A lot don't. Most don't. Some do. Is there going to be some minor wins that are going to happen because of Trump fatigue? Yeah, there already have been. There have been. But is that enough to be significant in a presidential? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not going to be enough in a presidential. It's not going to be enough in a midterm. It's just not. And if you think some huge blue wave happened in 2018, I'm curious what optics you were paying attention to. I mean, it was less than a wave, more than a trickle. That's how I described it. And we really want to be taking advice from Joe Donnelly? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your